My name is Tiffany. And when we work through our class, just a couple of things to mention so that no one is confused. I have my mat, it looks like this. I have two mats together like a plus sign. You don't worry about that. I just do that so I can turn and you can see things that may be important while we're flowing. And secondly, we will be mirroring one another. So I'll be moving to my right as I guide you to move left and vice versa. And that way you just know that every way that I move, if you're watching me, is the same way that you move. Aside from that, rules of class: have fun, let loose, stay true to yourself, listen to your body. If it doesn't like something that we're doing, find another way or take a break. Do what feels really good today. That's why we're here, my friends. All right, let's get started. I'm so excited. Make sure that you have something near you. Like, I love to use this little cushion that goes on a dining room chair. It's nice and flat. And if you don't have like a yoga blanket or something with you, you can always use something from your house. We have a good bit of kneeling happening in class today. And the other thing I recommend, if it's really cold where you are, like it is here in South Jersey, a little portable space heater. Your body will respond much more appropriately, nicely, more flexibility and pliability when it's warm. So when you come to your mat today, let's begin in child's pose. I would request that you take your toes and let them be really free and open. Tops of feet are flat. I like to begin with knees together, and that way you can fold over your thighs and rest your stomach right on your thighs. Stretch your arms overhead to begin, but very softly, yogis, with a bend in your elbows. Then if you can, draw your nose towards your knees, resting your forehead right about the middle of your forehead, known as your third eye, your place of intuition on the mat. And as you do, roll your forehead side to side on the mat, massaging over your forehead. A great way to release tension, releasing any of those lines of focus and concentration in our facial features. Begin to breathe into the back body and release your jaw, unhinge your jaw. Next breath in, let's creep our fingertips a little bit further forward. Walk them out and feel energy coming from the armpits, through your side body, all the way down to the tips of your fingers. As you breathe, notice your ribs inflating over your thighs. And on your next breath out, let's scoot forward into a tabletop. It's okay that your knees are staying together here. Tuck your toes under. Reach your hips back towards your heels again, but getting a little bottom of foot stretch now. Then drop your nose back down towards the floor, but tense your fingertips. If you can, tent them pulling the tips of your fingers together. Heel of hand rises up, and we feel a good suctioning in between our fingers, warming up our wrists. You can keep your fingers tented or flatten them out. We're rolling forward and back into a little tabletop, kind of a closed knee tabletop, and then press back to child's pose. Now continue floating with your breath, whichever breath speaks to you for each posture. But if possible, let's get a little wiggly in our spine. So we're gonna roll through angry cat, arching your back into table. Drop your navel, tail and top of head rise as we press back into child's pose. Exhale, round and roll forward. Inhale, belly falls, drop in, really feel your ribs stretching and ease back. Moving at your pace all through class today. We're gonna try one more round just like that. When you get back to child's pose, untuck your toes, please, flatten out your palms and come back forward, but see if you can shift further so your shoulders are almost towards your fingertips over your wrists. Allow your belly to hang, coming into a little version of floating up dog. If this feels good, lift your knees and thighs. Take a big breath in, look forward, and then press back to child's pose again. Buns scoot off to the left, hands walk to the right, and your left hand may cover your right. Make space between your elbows and stretch out your left side body here. Try walking to the other side. Hands left, right hand may cover the left. And then your hips scoot off to the right. Make a little space in between elbows. Drop your nose down. Breathing into your right side body specifically here. One big breath in. Come back through center, refine tabletop, but this time, yogis, widen your knees so they feel like they're right under your hips. And if you look back, you can't see your toes. They're right behind your knees. Take a big step out with your right foot, stepping it out long from your right hip, out to the side, and push your blade edge down. Can you soften your knee for me, please? Beautiful. Right arm rises, big breath in. We're going to thread the needle here. Take your right arm under the left, turn your palm down and walk out as far as you can go. Extend left arm overhead to give you space to breathe, and rest your right side of face on the ground. If it's tough for your face to melt into the ground, you can grab your prop, your little pillow or a blanket, and rest on that. Build your floor up for support all through class. One more big breath in here. And as you exhale, begin to unwind your threaded needle. Reach your right fingertips back to the sky. And this time, walk them over towards your right toes. Left arm follows. So we're going to take a little side bend here. Can you reach your left arm as far as possible? Circle it up, down and around, and side bend over towards the left side. Right arm reaches far. Then let it fall down so we can get a bit of a diagonal reach as well. Re-reach to the sky. Think about drawing a big smile in the sky every time you rise. Soft right knee, super important through our entire practice to soften our joints. In my style of yoga, I should say, because if you ever practice other styles such as Bikram, you'll be locking your joints. In the style that I prefer to lead and practice, we will always be soft and gentle in our joints. We're gonna go for one more big smile, or you could think of it as like a ball of sunshine or a rainbow, something that just lights you up from the inside. Coming back through the center, walk hands forward, roll up to stand on your left shin, reach up to the sky and press palms overhead. Can you wiggle your side body a little longer? Great, tip on over to the right side, soft right knee, just a big side bend here. If it feels a little too intense, right hand can come to the ribs, fingers can face up or forward, and it'll help you bend right over those fingers. Reach on back down to the ground, stretch forward in child's pose, and as you do, draw your right leg back in. Take a few swishes in your hips before they hit your heels, yogi. So as you're easing back, especially to the right side where you just work that hip, press out a bunch there, and then find your way on back. One breath in child's pose. Re-energize everything, walk fingertips forward, come up and stack, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, send your left leg out, and take a moment to really press the blade edge down. Oh, feels good, doesn't it? Take a big breath in, softening your left knee, and then press down through the inner arch, we open. Let's roll to rise, take a big breath up. And as you lower your fingertips, walk them towards your left big toe, especially long in the right arm. Same thing we just did on the other side. Circle right arm all the way up, down, and around. Land and stretch out your left side, but then reach forward and down. So if these semicircles feel really tough for you, you're welcome to crawl along the ground. This is a good example through class of modifying something to make it work in your body. I am just a leader, just your guide today. By all means, I want you to listen to your number one teacher, which is your body, and do what it's asking you. Spend extra time in some places. Oh, it feels good to linger. When it feels good, don't give up. Don't move too quickly. Spend some time there. One more big breath in and out. Last reach, big stretch on whatever side you're on. Roll back through the center. Lift to the sky, and when you're standing on your right shin, press your palms overhead. If this is much too intense for the side bend, bring hands to goalpost or to your heart. But really lift your left side as you tip. For a little bit of help, I love to put my fingertips up on my ribs. They face up. And that way, it's like you're curling over a support system. Oh, it feels so nice. One more big breath in here. Top arm falls. We bring it back to child's pose. Stretch your arms out. And before your buns hit your heels, do a little sway. So especially through your left hip, just swing your hips right, swing your hips left. Ease back into a child's pose. Take a breath in to get really long in your spine again. And we're gonna do a few more things to warm up. When you're ready, tuck your toes under, stretch out the bottoms of your feet. Stay in a little bit of a crouching child's pose. Bring hands closer to knees so you can elevate your knees, full crouching position. And lift your hips skywards when you feel ready, downward facing dog. Take your feet wide. Let's explore a little bit here. Be curious, be present, most importantly, in your body, in your breath. But be curious, what happens if I switch this way, or move here, or swing there? Just explore for another second, and then we'll come together on movement. Let's close our big toes towards one another. Hip width distance is great as well. Towards one another will be a little bit harder on the balance. Lift both heels, swivel them to the right, and then tent your left fingertips. Big stretch in the side body, yes? Bend your right knee. Let your right hip hang a little bit for more sensation in the left side body. You can look under your left armpit. If you're looking at me, smile. Who's having fun? Come on back to the center, yogis. Plant your left palm, straighten out your right leg, and swivel heels to the sky. Then give yourself a little shake. Just wiggle everything out there. When you're ready, let's switch sides. Heels rise. They fall to the left. And then we're gonna tent our right fingertips. Look out under your right armpit, possibly bending deeper. Left knee bends so we can hang the left hip. And then we really open up under the right side. One more big breath in, inflate the right side body. Exhale, press your right palm, straighten your left leg. Heels fall back into regular downward facing dog. Let's roll a little bit here, yogis. We're rolling forward to plank or kneeling plank. Knees would come down. Feels a little bit like earlier, right? Press back, downward facing dog. How much can you roll through your spine? And if you are dropping knees, feel free to drop your hips again for that floating dog. Press back when you're ready. The more we bend into our elbows, roll through our back, bend into our knees, the more we'll feel and open up our spine. One more time, forward and then back to hold and downward facing dog. Alrighty, my friends, left leg rises, three-legged dog, breathe in. And as you breathe out, look forward. See if you can crunch your left elbow towards your left knee. You're welcome to land your right knee. Push back, three-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, left elbow to left knee or a little higher towards the armpit. One more time, and as we crunch forward, we're gonna land. Left foot right outside, left pinky finger. And if you got stuck somewhere back here, land your right knee, grab your foot, make as many little footprints forward as you need. You are wide in lizard lunge. Great time to put your prop under your knee, your right knee. Looks like this. You're about as wide as your mat left to right. And then we're gonna flatten out the knee, shin, and top of foot on the right side. Let's start with some shoulder circles. Move your right hand a little wider and bring fingertips to the head of your left shoulder. We're gonna circle up, back, down, and around, taking a peek towards our back toes. Up and forward. Take your fingertips or your elbow, if you're holding your shoulder head, to the floor. Up and around, forward and down. Now, if your shoulder feels okay, let's stretch out through straight arms. And then we're gonna make a fist like you're showing off your bicep muscles and curl your forearm down towards the floor. Big breath up and around. Big curl in. Round your back as you come low. One more round, yogis. Breathe in. Breathe out. So you can stay right here in lizard lunge, landing left hand on thigh or on the floor. If you felt really good coming low and deep into your hips, send your left fingertips forward and bow your head down. Take notice of how you feel in your left inner thigh. You are welcome to let your left knee fall out to the side. Foot would stay really flexed, but the inner arch would open. The knee would fall out to the left side. One more big breath. Beautiful job. Let's bring our hands back under our shoulders. Flatten out the front foot, and this is super untraditional. We're gonna bring our back leg in and have a seat. Draw this right leg in. Left leg in front of right shin or on top. How would I get there? Lean back, cross it over. If it wants to happen, it will. If you need a minor adjustment, take it, but don't force your leg somewhere that's unnatural. And then just wiggle through the buns or lift and scoot your sits bones back away from your knees. Fingertips come wide. We're gonna sit really tall here. Breathe in, like someone's lifting from your ears. Lift you tall. Exhale, take a slow torso circle around, back up through the center, go the other way. Notice how your fingers get really light and airy. That's okay, just let them do whatever. Come down through the center and up. All right, we're gonna continue. Circle once each way, but please pay attention and ground your sits bones in. We wanna maintain that beautiful rooting sensation so we can stretch long. When we're grounded, we lengthen everything as we stretch away. Forward and up. One more time like this. Now listen, if you encounter something, you're like, ooh, stay there, pay attention, breathe into it. And join us when you can. Fold. Rise, lean back this time. Keep your legs just as they are. If your knees are poking up at the sky, know that that's normal. I would encourage you to prop yourself up so you feel supported, but they'll come down. With more practice, your hips will open. Some of us live in a tight body because we sit a lot, but it's okay. That's why you're here. Big breath in. Full breath out. Come back to the center. Here's the hard part. We're gonna untangle our legs, lean back, try to let it happen naturally, swish around, and we kind of get break dancey. We're gonna break dance around the corner, whoop, right on up to downward facing dog. Try to make it graceful. There's no wrong way to arrive. Just move a little bit. Stretch out. Take a wiggle, a shimmy, or a shake. Look under each armpit. Stretch your neck. And when you feel ready, we're going to move through the right leg. So take a big breath in, three-legged dog. Inhale. Look at your right thumb, and then crunch your right knee towards the right arm. We're going to aim for our elbow. It's okay if you go lower, or maybe you land your shin right on the floor. Press back, inhale. Exhale, aim a little higher this time. Crunch up. Inhale, push back. Use a big exhalation to crunch. And as you do, step right outside your right pinky finger. Did you make it? If you didn't, that's okay. Help yourself forward. We're in no rush. Drop left knee, shin, and top of foot. Get it cozy. If you don't have a prop nearby, you can take your mat and roll it under. That feels really good. Wiggle a little bit through your hips here. And then walk left hand out wider. So you can start to circle your right shoulder. I always recommend starting small, close to body. Just check in with your shoulders. So I want to circle back towards the left big toe, and then fingertips or elbow points will come to the ground. Try that again. If you're feeling great, make it a little bigger, like a goalpost. Or it could be a straight arm. Big breath in, one for each movement. Full breath out. And if you do, crunch your forearm down like you're gonna reach it behind you. Let's try twice more like that. Okay, so what can we do as we're moving here to make it bigger? We can roll the right knee out, but remember to keep a very strong flex in your foot. Landing somewhere with the right hand. Less intense would be up higher on the right thigh, more intense down on the ground. Noticing that if we bring our right heel in front of our knee, as opposed to being stacked under, our hips will get melty. They'll really start to hunker down there. When you feel great, yogis, reach your right arm forward. It can just reach, or you can place it on the ground like a tiger about to take a big leap. Drop your head down a little lower than your heart if possible, and then fully breathe into the underside of your right hip, your right inner thigh. Soften your jaw. We're going to go for one more big breath in here. On the exhalation, draw your right shoulder back in. Take a second if you need it. Recollect yourself and then bring your left knee in. Right shin crosses in front or on top. So we're going to lean away. See if our legs want to do that. If we need props, we build up. And then we move around so there's no flesh under our sits bones and they feel far away from our knees. So I like to give mine a little boost, a little gentle pull back. All right, something different this round. Right foot stays flexed no matter where it is. Right arm falls, left arm rises, a big lift up and over, and then take a full bow to the floor, creating those big sunshine rainbow arcs again. Breathe in, breathe out. In and out. Watching where the sits bones go. Really see them in your mind. Can you press them, dig them, plug them deeper into the earth? And then you can stretch further away. Think of yourself like an elastic, really going far away from the bottom half. Just reaching a bit more forward on the diagonal this time. Stretch, play for a moment. If you feel like you want to stay, do stay and really feel into your right low back. Come to the other side. Last one here. Reach. Come a little bit more forward, and then see if you want to move a bit into the left low back on this side. One fold forward, and I just want to chat with you for a sec here. When you fold forward, if you can all try to bring your fingertips to the floor in front of your shins, watch my elbows for a moment, okay? See how their inner elbows facing each other? See how I can roll them forward? You can do this too. So why do I want you to do this? When you're in downward facing dog, and I ask you, sometimes I'll ask you to roll your biceps up and out and your triceps in. What happens is we roll our elbow points forward. That's the sensation we want, the wrapping sensation and the hugging in towards our body in down dog. So it's a great time to practice it here. Biceps up and out, triceps down and in. Elbows won't face forward much in down dog, but that's the thinking, okay? Lean back. Press your hips and chest forward. Take a big, beautiful breath in here, and let's get flowing, yogis. Okay, break dancers, unite. Let's do this. Take your legs out. Give them a shake or a shimmy if they're really tight from those stretches. When you're ready, turn to any side. We're finding downward facing dog. Do you want to go in compartments like me? I like to find a little box. Come back in our child's pose. Tuck your toes. And then create a little box. So you bring yourself forward into a crouch. And lift yourself up. Make a really long line of energy through your downward facing dog. All right, my friends, let's vinyasa. Roll forward to find plank position. Exhale, chaturanga. Pull your body really straight and strong. Drop to knees if that feels good, but elbows will point back. Inner arms hug your ribs. Toes walk very far back. And as you tent your fingertips out to the left and right sides, lift your elbows to the sky. Where is the weight in your toes? Can you push it out to your pinky toes so all 5 toes feel activated? Uplift your body, push out of your suction cups. Fingertips are suctioning towards one another. Squeeze shoulder blades. Press out of fingers. They might turn a little white if it's too much. Push palms. Take one more big breath in upper locust. Exhale, release. Go through those little sections. Child's, toes tuck, hips rise, baby crouch, or turbo child, and then up to dog. Can you feel that sensation of your inner elbows? Pulling forward as your biceps wrap up, out, and around, and triceps pull in towards your heart. Right leg rises, big breath in. Take a bend in your knee. Circle it back out to lizard, but this time around the corner, yogis, around your right ribs. Step outside your right pinky finger. Look forward, lead your heart forward. Step your left leg up to follow. We're finding yogi squat. This can be really high if you like it. It can be a little lower or all the way down low. Once you sink in, we're just gonna take a little twist here. Right fingertips stay down, even if you're up high. Left arm will open. Using your right arm in some way to press right knee open a bit more, stretching into the inner thighs. Switch left arm, elbow, forearm, or hand down. Press open a little. Lift your right fingertips. You can always keep them low and just peer over your right shoulder. Take a little fold, my friends, turning back to the center. Toes turn forward as our hips rise. We release into a fold and just hang. We call this ragdoll. Hang in your forward fold, holding on to opposite elbows, and take a little stroll around the corner. Elbow to right heel, opposite elbow to left heel. Hang your head so far away that your hair feels all loose and you can just shake your head around. Shaking off any tension.
If you shook your head no, do tend to finish on a positive. That just feels good. So give it a good old yes shake. Yes to moving on. Let's rise. You can keep rolling like a little spinning top, rolling all the way to the sky. Oh, it feels so good. When you get here, rise. Feel really ignited with love, energy, vibrancy. Exhale, find the floor again. Forward fold. Taking a little twist in our fold, bend your right knee. Leave right fingers where they are. And as you straighten your left leg, reach left arm to hip or sky. Wrap it around your low back. And then re-reach it to the sky, but bring it forward and down. Do a big arm circle. Left fingers in front of toes. As you straighten your right leg, right arm rises to any degree. Take a big breath in. Exhale, wrap it around your low back. Eyes look wherever our neck is, feeling good and happy. Re-reach to the sky and then circle it forward and down as you bend both knees. Hanging heavy again in forward fold. Left leg takes a long lunge back. Let's rock forward and back here for a moment. Through the left heel, into the right knee, making sure our heart's feeling lifted and light. And then when you're ready, rise to high lunge, immediately opening chest and arms into warrior two. Now find warrior two. Notice that your chest and your hips are facing the long side of your mat. We're going to transition into warrior one. So we're spinning back forward, chest and hips forward. Turn your back toes in a little bit, and I always have to widen my left to right. So if my warrior two back foot was here, I turn my back foot in and step it out. Warrior one, facing the right knee, chest and hips, to the best of your anatomical ability. Not everyone can swivel fully. Arms rise, press your Kali Mudra. Pointer fingers extend to the sky. Help your ribs lift and lengthen, and then come forward. Extend to load your warrior one. Belly over the right thigh. If this gets too intense, yogis, fingertips under your shoulders, on the floor or on props. Get so heavy in your right foot that your left heel rises, and we lift into warrior three. If you don't have a big space, you may be doing a superwoman or a superman movement against your wall like me. Or you can step back if you want to be free overhead. Take another big breath in your warrior three. Drive your left knee to standing. Take a huge lift up to the sky. Well done. Hold this balance for a moment and close your eyes. Lift from your left inner thigh to keep your hips squared. Reopen your eyes. Back out wiggly from the inside out, didn't it? Fingertips fall. Great job, yogis. Big breath in. Find a forward fold. How can you find a different way to fall? I like to try to crumple. So I get really tiny and fall in and then just fold. Feel like you're spilling forward. Right foot steps back. When you find your lunge, rise overhead. Well, actually, excuse me. You might want to shift a little forward and back. I apologize. Let's get a good stretch in our right foot. Open your heart. Ooh, feel it into your left knee and the underside of your hips. And then rise. Whenever you feel a little warmed up, big breath in. Lunge to warrior two. I just like to feel the openness in warrior two, the width and the length before we find warrior one. That one can be a little tricky. So we're going to rotate back towards the left knee. Right heel rises and that foot steps out just a tad so the hips are able to swivel. Find it, sink into left knee. Arms rise, Kali Mudra, extending pointer fingers overhead. Use that to wiggle your side bodies up a little bit longer and then load this. Take a big, beautiful, loaded warrior one, belly over left thigh. When our arms are too heavy overhead, we bring them somewhere that feels more hospitable to our body, more presentable to a really open breath. So if they're near our heart, you're able to breathe stronger. Lifting through your right heel, elevate your right foot. And if you got really close to your wall as you did that, take a step back so you can challenge yourself. Extending overhead if possible for a very strong warrior three. Option, fingertips float down under our shoulders for support. Next exhalation, we're gonna rise, press up to a right knee lift as you stand. Refind Kali Mudra if you lost it. Shoulders relax, we lift from the inner right thigh. Toes can be relaxed here, and then close your eyes for one full breath. Breathing back in, open your eyes. Well done, yogis. Let the feet fall, arms rise to the sky, release back to downward facing dog, stepping back one foot then the other, and take a breath in here to wiggle and free your body. Try to never, ever get discouraged in your balances. I will tell you that most days I feel so wiggly, I fall out of my balances, and there's a very few once in a blue moon day where it feels really good and on point. So just keep on plugging away at them, yogis. We're gonna work through another one in a moment. Roll forward to your plank position, soft and pliable. We're moving a little bit like there's a breeze blowing us around. Release softly into the floor, chaturanga. And as you do, step your toes way far back. Remembering to plug into baby toe as well. All 5 toes are engaged. Light up the back of your legs. Reach overhead this time. Find your little suction cups. Tuck chin to chest. Look under your nose like you're fogging up a mirror. Thumbs rise. And we're making big semicircles here. Spread the webbing on your fingers wide. Lift thumbs up. Scoot your arms out, down and around as close to your thighs as possible. Tap your pinky finger. Up, forward, make that big semicircle, and down. So think of something that makes you happy. I like to think about creating a big smile when I make these shapes. Feel like it could lighten up your practice. It's Friday after all. Today's a day full of smiles. Big breath in and out. Once you get back forward, anchor through your suction cup or tented fingers, draw chin to chest, and elevate your toes, knees, and thighs. Really press them open, open, open. Let's make those beautiful arcs all the way out to the side, in and back behind your hips. Big arcs, both legs, squeeze outer thighs. Squeeze inner thighs. We have 2 more. Squeeze out, soft tap down, squeeze in. 1 more, yogis. Breathe in. Breathe out. Press back. Hands under shoulders. Press on back to child's. Let's go through those little sections. We're going to tuck our toes. Make a little box shape. Shift forward. Walk hands in. Hover through your knees. Lift your hips high and then walk toes back or hands back out so you feel long. All righty, moving through the other leg for our yogi squat. Left leg rises. And as you do, bend your heel towards your butt. But try to carve that arc path around to the outside of your left ribs. Make a big semicircle here. Step left foot all the way forward. Find a really big open heart. Smile forward with your body. And then step the right leg forward. Okay. Yogi squats can be any height. This is really strong, just as this is really strong. Once you find it, follow with me or just hold. If you're holding here, use your thumbs in towards your heart to remind you, press your heart back, shoulders over hips. If you'd like to get low and twisted with me, left shoulder inside left knee, left hand to right ankle, right hand to right knee, and we're gonna use both shoulders, press open. I'm gonna press with my left shoulder, press with my right hand, both legs get really wide here. Release back to the center. Stay with it. And if you're doing this up high, we can just kind of modify it a little bit. We can still twist. Right shoulder if you're low, down inside. Right hand holds left ankle. Left hand, I tend to like fingers down, a little bit of a better grip here. And then you can press away. So think about a little baby back bend, opening you up. Eyes may look up or down. I always encourage you to try everything because you never know what you're gonna like. This second's different from every other time. Come back to center, fingers to the floor, toes turn forward, hips rise. Let's turn this yogi squat into a forward fold, a ragdoll holding opposite elbows, and then a roll to rise. Take a big, beautiful breath all the way up and overhead. How does your back feel? We're gonna work that out a little bit. Hold your hands forward, clasp and extend palms to meet. Pinky fingers and thumbs, they tend to poke forward, so try to pull those back too. And then around your back, so we get to really stretch it open. Bend your knees a little bit, and then draw your fingertips down towards your knees and right back up to where we started. Down towards your knees, just rounding through your back to where we started. One more round. Inhale, rise all the way to the sky. Let forearms fall to both thighs and press up into an angry cat. Now your stance here is a little narrow. So while you're holding your forearms on your thighs, can you toe heel your feet wider, like you're gonna come into a wide leg forward fold? When you're there, hands come to the inner knees, fingertips point down. Drop your left shoulder and peek over your right. Using left hand to work the inner thigh open. Right hand does the same. Press knee open to baby toe, drop shoulder, look over your left. And then just move through that with breath. Inhale, exhale. You can also take your fingertips to the ground. We're gonna work into some twists. So whatever feels best for you. One more big breath. When you're ready, yogis, turn toes forward or in a little. I like mine to be pigeon-toed. And then drop down to forward fold as much as you can bend. If your head is on the floor, you're gonna toe heel your feet in a little closer so that, pardon me, I'm just fixing my wardrobe. You're gonna toe heel your feet in a little closer so that your head has lots of room to hang here. And then once you arrive, let everything get soft. Let your shoulders be soft, your neck be soft. You can bend and straighten your knees a little bit. Let's walk fingertips as far forward as we can. Coming into a super wide leg, downward facing dog. While you're here, wrap your right arm around your low back, three-pointed down dog. Reach your right arm back forward, left arm around your low back. All the way back forward. Fingertips walk back right about in front of big toes. Left hand under your nose, right hand to your hip, and just a tiny twist. Take a little peek over your right shoulder. If this feels great, extend, just like we did in our forward fold earlier. Reach up around the low back. If you can, you reach for your left inner thigh. When the legs are wide, you can grab it. Eyes would look down or up, wherever it really feels like it's enhancing your twist. And we're gonna stay with this twist, yogis, for just a moment. One more breath. Okay, so listen here. As you unwind your right fingertips, you're gonna reach them under left arm for the outer left shin. If you can, left hand reaches for outer right shin, and you have crossed arms. Hopefully you can see that. Then you would just hang heavy with these crossed arms, stretching out your shoulders here. Taking another big breath in. Full exhalation. Let's rise, and as you do, maybe taking a few more knees bending and legs straightening. You might need to come to rise if you're feeling like you're getting dizzy. When you're ready to rejoin us, right hand under your nose, wide leg forward fold, and we're gonna bring our left hand to our hip. Just take a little peek like you're being sassy. Peek back, checking out things over there. Lift your left arm skywards if it feels good. This is a great place to stay, or you can wrap with me. We're gonna wiggle to try to find our right inner thighs. Ooh. So when we bind like this, it should enhance our ability to open our chest. So if my hand is up, I may feel a little closed. When I bind, my shoulder comes more behind me, bottom shoulder comes more forward, and then we feel openness, more breath ability. Staying for another breath. See how light you can get on your right fingertips. See if you can use more of your back body. And as you unwind, we're gonna do that little crisscross. So this time your left arm is coming under the right. Grab for your outer right shin. Right arm reaches for the outer left shin. It's quite all right if you need to close your legs, do whatever works, yogis. And then as you get a hold, we feel this great pull from our shoulders. We're gonna slowly let our faces drop towards the floor. Let's take another big breath in here. And on your exhalation, let go of your crisscross.
We're rising up, turning toes out to face the corners, the edges of our mats, climbing up to our thighs, and then doing a little shift right to left. We're gonna loosen up our shoulders and do a bit of Tai Chi inspiration. Beautiful movements. They should just feel so nice. Shift, shift. As you look, you're making sure your knees are behind your toes, and your toes, can you open, spread them, fan them out wide? Oh, feels so good. We're gonna spread space between the four corners of our feet. Balls, edges, inner arches, spread everything really wide. All right, rise to the sky. While you're here, lift your left heel and then shift over to left side lunge. Just working on releasing your shoulders. Left heel falls, lift your right heel, shift to right side lunge. Okay, feel stable in your foundation? Beautiful, right heel falls. Bend both knees again, right forearm down, using that to press open towards baby toe as we side bend to the right. Same thing on the left, left forearm down. It pushes out a little bit, opening the inner thigh as the right arm rises. Back through the center, cross your wrists in front of your groin, rise up to stand. Just make sure you feel stable where you are and your feet didn't slip out too wide. Let's try that again. Cross the hands, reach overhead and cross. Make it a bit bigger, round your back. Inhale, rise, possibly a baby back bend up here. Exhale, cross. Can you cross opposite wrists? Two more like this. Last one. Pause at the top, yogis. Press your palms overhead. Watch me if you're unfamiliar with this. Figure eights. We're going to bend into the right knee and then bend into the left knee, making a figure eight with our arms. You move at your pace, making sure your knees are following the midline of your foot. So you should feel no pain in your knees as you swish side to side here. If it's too intense for your shoulders, make little figure eights. But this is a great way to sling tension off of our fingertips. I like to think about something that's bothering me. I gather it up, and then I send it through my shoulders and out my fingers and just go, whoosh, see you later. Or maybe not, bye forever. But oftentimes these layers need to peel away bit by bit. We're gonna take a few more. Two more. Last one each side. Beautiful job. Arms rise overhead, palms press. Sink back down into squat, let your shoulders fall. Just give them a little shake out. Really nice. Some interesting Tai Chi inspired moves. Sweep your right arm all the way up and over, side lunge to the right. Four fingers tap your thumb, we call this bird's tail. Left arm opens across the body, left side lunge. Both arms cross down. We do our little cat arch and then rise. Left arm does the bird's tail. Right arm opens, release, and re-rise. Beautiful job. Let your arms fall. Restart. Right arm, big circle up, bird's tail. Left arm, open your chest. Arms fall. We curl into our backs here. Rise, and then release any way it feels good for you. Left arm, bird's tail. Right arm open. Release, and rise. One more each way, and we'll get back into our more traditional yoga. Right arm, bird's tail. Left arm. Release, re-rise. Last round. These feel good, don't they? Just very freeing. Don't worry about doing something the right way. Just breathe and move. Fingertips come down. Let's bring our feet together. I love to hop my feet together, but if you don't like that, you can toe heel. It's a fun little dance. Or you can jump your feet together. Take a little swan dive down into forward fold. From forward fold, pull your heels up towards your buns. And then slowly drop your heels. Drop your buns to your heels. And then sit back. So if possible, when you're in tiptoe stand, can you press your knees forward, fingers forward, and then reach your heart to your fingers, allowing your heels to begin to fall. If you can get them down, it's a great stretch for your Achilles. I haven't gotten there yet myself. But we're slowly, or maybe not, gonna make our way to the floor for a forward fold. So we're gonna come to the floor whenever you can. If you plopasana, you plopasana, no big deal. Walk your heels forward, pull your toes back. And then just move a little bit of that flesh out from under your sits bones so you feel really equally grounded. Arms rise up your body. Sit as tall as you can. Bring hands back down by your sides for staff pose. We're going to press the thumbs down next to our hips and get super active in our arms. So we're pushing up as high as we possibly can. Feeling like someone's pulling up your ears again, lifting you from the ears. Nice. Forward fold. Let everything come forward. Keep your heart really lifted. And as you do, pay attention to your toes. Can you see how mine are sickled in? Some people's go the other way. We want to try to pull our toes, all 5 of them, back towards our shoulders. Then you know you're fully stretching left to right on the hamstring. A little crisscross option again. Left hand can find anything. I like to go for blade edge. If you can't reach down there, just reach for something on the outer right leg. Right hand goes to the left, and we do a little wrist cross. Now what happens is your toes want to knock together, so you've got to press out as you're pulling in with your hands. And then fold wherever it feels good for you. Letting go of the hinge of your jaw, just letting everything settle a bit heavier in your facial features and your expression. If you crisscross with me, uncross and then recross. So we're gonna go right hand first, left hand on top, press into your legs just so you don't pull them together. And then fold as deeply as you enjoy. If you draw your abdominals in, your navel up into your spine a little bit tighter, you'll notice you have more capacity to fold. Uncross hands, fingers come down right by your sides to help you come back. Big stretch through the back. Take both knees in. Give yourself a little movement here. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Just checking in with how you're feeling, rounding and releasing. Extend your right leg, keep your left leg in, and we find some seated twists to finish up today. Foot can be anywhere, close to or away from your right thigh, but sit up really tall again. Think about that staff pose, lifting from your crown, flexing into your right foot. Left hand comes behind you, sit up, and then swivel eye gaze over left shoulder. Now you can stay here hugging onto your right knee. You can bring your arm across, or it's a little bit more gentle in the elbow if you have a high five. I personally prefer to cross my foot over the thigh, so feel free to make that adjustment. This feels a little bit safer, and I can leverage myself into my twist a little bit easier. Once again, we redraw the navel in, and then we get this bigger ability to twist. It feels so good. From here, yogis, turn your body the other way. Keep your legs exactly as they are. We're turning into an open twist, meaning our belly is opening away from our thigh. And as you walk your hands forward, lift your left cheek. Allow yourself to come like into a push-up or maybe a chaturanga arm, whatever feels best on your shoulders. But the more low you get, the more you'll twist into your left low back. Ooh, and open away. Feels so good. Re-rise, keep your legs just like they are, and there's a little ability to bind here. So you can come back down low, or you can bind with me. Right arm around your low back. Left arm reaches underneath this little triangle here, so underneath your thigh, and then we wrap around the corner to try to find our hands behind our low back. So again, we bind to open more. So if I bound and I was like, ugh, all hunkered in, I can't breathe, it's not a good bind for me. But if it enables me to lift, pull my left shoulder forward and my right shoulder back, it's a good bind. You could also try it over top of your left shin. It's a little bit harder for me. I like to go under, but whatever works. It's fun to try something new. And when you're done with that, roll forward, uncross your left leg if you crossed it, and just remind yourself to sit up really tall. So I like to pull my navel into my thigh, chest up towards knee, sit up, and just switch your legs. Left leg comes out, right leg comes in. Readjust sits bones and tail free of flesh. Take a moment. Let's begin a little twist. Right arm comes behind, give yourself a boost, and then we can stay right here. This is beautiful. Options, left arm high five or extended, or you can cross right ankle over
The opposite thigh. Oh, that feels really good. Belly in, don't forget. Lift and lengthen, and then exhale to swivel. Just asking ourselves here, if there's something that we can let go of, especially when we're all twisted up, it's nice to wiggle through our left toes, left fingers, maybe even right toes. Might want to do a little tick-tock with your ears to shoulders. Anytime you're pausing in a posture, ask yourself, what can I liberate right now? Feels good. I like to let my jaw go. Let's come open. So we keep our legs exactly as they are, but turn your body away. So your right cheek will probably rise as you bring your hands somewhere, not forcing, but just encouraging a little twist, maybe a big lower. And then come on back up. Just allow everything to readjust itself, to unwind slowly. Feeling free to come back there if you have zero interest in the bind, or we can attempt to bind. Now you can also uncross your legs to bind, so make it your own. But we would wrap left arm around low back. Right arm would come in that little triangle, and then our fingertips may, I can't get it on this side, that's interesting. Our fingertips may connect. So if you're like, I don't know how I can bend around that corner, try it over top of the shin. It's also nice when we practice binds, binding both hands together, to have like a little towel or a sock. You might have had socks on, grab your sock. Hold one end in each hand, and then you can pull it apart. So that way you get a little bit of a connection. But we know the bind is right for us when we swivel. The right shoulder would come a bit more forward, left shoulder a bit more back. We feel more expansive once we've gotten it, and it's good for us. Come on back out of that. Uncross your leg if you crossed it over. Just sit yourself up really soft and tall here. Well done, yogis. Hug both knees in. If you have to go, unfortunately, it's 12:55, time flies. So if you're staying with me, stay here. But if you have to go, I would probably just roll around to the side. Probably do some cat-cows, especially after those twists, and work my way back up to standing and ease on back into my workspace. Have a wonderful weekend if you're leaving. If you're staying, scooch that flesh out from under sits and tailbones, and then rock on back. So it's really fun every once in a while to rock up and down the spine. So if you're feeling spicy today, rock with me. If you're not up for that, just ease on back down. Hang on to your thighs as long as you can. Find your way onto your mat. Then you can rock side to side. I like to let go of my legs if I'm going to rock side to side, letting them be the decider in how they're going to move. Do a little circling maybe. All right, my friends, let's go half happy baby. Extend your right leg. It's okay if your hip doesn't like that. You can bend your right leg. But once you get it, hug your left knee into wind relieving pose, and then stand on the ceiling with your foot. Try to get your heel above your knee. Left hand will hold on, pulling knee down next to your ribs. And I like to take my right hand, if leg is straight, and push it on my right hip. This half happy baby feels pretty great, right? But if you want a little more, you can extend into half straddle, come back to half happy baby. You can extend your legs straight, come back into half happy baby. Be playful. This is your time. Move as it feels good for you. Let's pull that shin across our bodies. So we're going to go for cradle the baby. We hold on to knee and bottom of foot. Both hands are here. And you might be able to manipulate your hip by rolling it around or circling your shin. Do anything that feels good for your outer hip. Bring your knee back into your chest, wind relieving pose, and slowly switch. Left leg either straight, if that's too much for your hip, bend it. If it feels good straight, you might just need to rub it a little bit, let it ease out. And then we do half happy baby on the right leg. Knee to chest, heel above the knee. Right hand holds on to blade edge, or you can hook your forearm around the back of your thigh. Maybe your left hand wants to massage out your left hip. Especially after twisting, things can get a little tight. May want to straighten into half straddle or hamstring stretch with your right leg. Come back into happy baby in between.
Then when you're ready, from your bent knee happy baby, just draw your right shin as close to your chest as possible. We're not gonna force, but if we can, draw it down. Left hand holds the foot, right hand holds the knee. And you decide, maybe I'm manipulating it by pushing knee away and pulling foot forward, possibly just maybe drawing circles, hugging in and out. Keep a good flex in your right foot. That'll make sure you're safe in your joints. Bringing your knee back into wind relieving pose, and then full happy baby to send us on our way today. Yogis, when you get into happy baby, if you're holding the blade edges of your feet, pull your toes down towards your kneecaps. Just gently massage on the underside of your foot. I love that. Give a little push back with your toes so it feels like a really great stretch. You can rock side to side here if that feels good. And then just for kicks, your options to exit class. You can obviously roll to your side. That feels really nice and nurturing if you're trying to be kind. If you want to be spicy, you can hold your happy baby and you can rock on up. It might take a few times, but it might not. You never know. Into a big wide squat. From here, a forward fold, and all the way up to the sky. So that was actually pretty good for me, just one rock. Normally I take like 10. But when you get ready, yogis, let's roll to rise. Continue practicing searching for the light within your body like you just did through yoga by making spaces, creating openness. The more you find light within yourself, the easier it is to discover it and honor it in everyone that you interact with. Thank you so much for allowing me the privilege of guiding your practice. Thank you for sharing it with me and everyone else and enabling them to stay motivated to get here. Wonderful job, yogis. My light is honored by your divine light. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.